What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris bringing you more games from the Starseries Season 3. This time it's going to be a little bit special because, well, do you know who I have with me? Of course you don't. It's Basskip. Basskip, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. It's Basskip, but I think that's an easy mistake to make. Yeah, or Kip. I don't really mind either way. But yeah, excited to be here. Looking forward to these games. I didn't catch a lot of Starseries Season 3. Oh, not as much as I would have hoped. So this is great for me, and should be a fairly exciting matchup. I haven't actually seen a lot of new Dare or new Moscow 5, I guess, but should be good. What are you thinking?
Well, Dare, I mean, the new Dare lineup isn't really that spectacular from what I've seen. M5 is, I'd say, just as far as their playstyle goes, going to be favored just a little bit. I feel like they're a little bit of a stronger team, but let's actually take a look at the first picks here. We do have the Chen as well as the Tidehunter being picked up from Moscow 5. So already a lot of support going into this game, and we're talking a little bit beforehand for everyone who's viewing this, but yeah, the .74, it's a little bit formulaic. I mean, Chen wasn't banned out, you're going to pick him. Leshrac wasn't picked out, and you're going to pick him, and ooh, a CK. So, well, you know a little bit about CK, I'm sure, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I like the CK pickup. I think a lot of Russian teams, especially a lot of the fairly aggressive teams, really enjoy picking the Chaos Knight, running him in dual lanes like with Leshrac. We haven't seen a lot of him in solo mid, well, not in duo mid recently, but it's something that I really enjoy seeing. So maybe we'll see the old school Leshrac CK duo mid, something along those lines. And to me, the one big question right now is where this Tidehunter is going to be heading. Is he going to be a hard lane solo Tide, or is that something that, you know, maybe hasn't picked up just yet, sort of at this point? Because I know it's much more prevalent, sort of where we are right now in 6.76b, but
yeah, I don't really like Tidehunter in the long lane. I don't think anyone really does. I feel like Tidehunter is strongest, of course, when he's doing the pressuring role, probably on the top lane, but you know, a lot of that will come down to both what Moscow 5 pick up as their third hero, and also what Dare decide to ban out. I mean, if Moscow 5 choreographed to the other team that, hey, we're going to pick up, I don't know, if they pick up an anti-mage right now, say, then Dare, they're going to know to ban out the laning heroes, and then they might push, oh, well, there you go. Broodmother is going to be the pickup, so it looks like we do have a long lane.
Yeah, so we do have, that's going to be the long lane solo, so Tidehunter going to be heading up towards top, supporting whatever safe lane farmer they've got there, and then also just have to find the solo mid. And actually, Venomancer are going to be the ban out now, so still banning out towards that hard support. Yeah, and Shadow Demon as well taken out.
I actually think that's a little bit peculiar, that Venomancer ban. I mean, M5, they have Tide and Chen to support, and really what they need right now are people who are farm reliant and really like control the lane. They need a solo mid, they need a you know, farming top hero. Venomancer is neither of those heroes, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit strange to see, especially since Tidehunter's probably going to be playing that fairly supportive role. And between the Chen and the Tidehunter, you've got plenty of farm to throw around for wards, things like that. So yeah, I'm not quite so sure about the Venomancer ban. Shadow Demon ban, not all that bad. I mean, obviously he's great set up for the Leshrac, Leshrac, CK, and SD. That's a bit of a terrifying tri-lane if there ever was one. And we'll have to see if Dare go for another support ban here. I do think they should be targeting those farmier heroes, but maybe they just don't know what Moscow 5 are going to be going for.
Well, there's the Nature's Prophet, but once again, I don't really like that, because Nature's Prophet, usually you see him either in the jungle or on the hard lane, and well, Broodmother and Chen, that's jungle and hard lane if I ever did see it. So Dare kind of making some peculiar bans. Personally, I would have banned out something a little bit heavier, a little bit more damage, something like an anti-mage or, I don't know, a lifestealer or any of those things. But it looks like the final ban from M5, it's going to be the Enigma, so they're going to deny Dare that jungle. And that jungle would have gone very well with Leshrac CK.
Yeah, I mean, so they're doing fantastically. They've just now secured themselves a mid-game XP and gold advantage just off the back of the Chen. They're going to have to play a little bit more defensively, I guess, just because they do have that sort of slower, more plodding jungler in the Chen. The Enchantress is still in the pool, but she's not quite as fast as the Chen, and obviously the Enigma is just a little bit faster than him still. So Moscow 5, I really like what they're doing. And now a CM pickup for Dare.
Well, I mean, CM has definitely fallen a little bit by the wayside and kind of like paling in comparison to the likes of mostly the Disruptor, who I feel could do pretty much everything the CM could do except better. Maybe not as much setup, but they're going to go for another support hero, so their supporting cast is pretty much set. Right now they just have to shore up their lanes. It might be a Morphling solo mid, and M5, they have yet to pick up a primary farmer or a solo mid hero, and I'm pretty sure they know what they're up against in those lanes, so they could pick accordingly. Although, I mean, what are they going to go? Queen of Pain? Storm Spirit?
I mean, they've got great flexibility right now. Queen of Pain, great against the squishies like the Leshrac and the Crystal Maiden. I mean, against the Morphling, there's not a whole lot of chance, well, of killing Morphling at all, really. Once he starts just spamming that Morph Strength, you're not really going to take him down. But, I mean, Queen of Pain, great animation, pretty good base damage, so fairly good matchup for the Morphling on that solo mid. So, could be, definitely could be. I mean, we could even see, I mean, counters to the Morphling, right? That's what I think we need to be thinking about.
Disruptor, man.
Because,
Static Storm and Glimpse, so good.
yeah. I mean, well, for the mobility, but you still got to chew through all of that, more strength. And Windrunner's going to be the pickup now. So Broodmother may be heading towards mid. Who knows? Or Windrunner heading towards mid as well. Could be.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. M5, they have a really light damage lineup. I mean, Broodmother is a very high damaging hero if she gets the farm, but teams at this point, they kind of know how to deal with the Broodmother. And Darer, I mean, what else are they going to run? I feel like they could still go for that Sand King pickup to counter off that Broodmother and then lane a tri-lane top with the Morphling solo mid. That would actually be really good, I feel, because, I mean, Moscow 5, they're probably going to lane that Broodmother in the long lane. That's what we've both been talking about. Oh.
So there's the Sand King. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, well called on that. But I think that the thing about that tri-lane on top is that's really going to make or break Darer's lineup. I mean, if they can connect the kills, if they can find them, then that's absolutely great. But if not, you've got some really sort of slow supports. I mean, especially the Crystal Maiden, 280 base move speed, sort of waddling around and just, I guess, waiting for that solo mid to head up. And Broodmother, I guess the one issue for me with Moscow 5's lineup right now is that they're very static on the map. Chen can't move around all that much. He's sort of going to be stuck in that jungle for the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. Can come out for ganks, can come out to support. And well, there's the Queen of Pain, so could see Queen of Pain on the safe lane as the farmer, and that makes the tri-lane a little bit more difficult to connect these kills. But yeah, I mean, Broodmother, her gameplay is just going to be sit on that bottom lane and just push whenever Sand King leaves. And without that, added support up towards that top lane, without the ability to really rotate and TP up because she just doesn't contribute all that much, it'll be interesting to see how this works out for Moscow 5.
What M5 do have going for them is a ton of lane flexibility, except for the Broodmother and Chen, really. But Windrunner, Tidehunter, Queen of Pain, I've seen them all solo the mid lane. It will be a little bit dangerous going up against the Morphling, but I mean, M5, they could lane their heroes basically wherever they want. That's going to make it a little bit difficult for the Sand King, because, I mean, Broodmother could go into the long lane, but she could also go in a lot of other places too, and well, Darer definitely want that Sand King to be up against that Broodmother, because, well, that's pretty much the reason why they chose Sand King, at least for the short run. But M5, with the lane versatility that they have, they could run her wherever they want, and I am now into the game. Pause it, of course, because every single game starts with a pause. So I'm just going to go over who's on the M5 squad and what they're playing. We have Stellianer playing the Chen solo on the Queen of Pain. Nexus is going to be playing that Windrunner Dread on the Tidehunter, and Sadoy on the Broodmother.
Okay, so over on Dare, we've got Hawkeye playing the Sand King. We've got Grumpy on the Leshrac. Savadoom is going to be on the Crystal Maiden. Somebody who has changed the name, and I don't know the lineup off the top of my head, so Failitz.
I'm pretty sure it's Failitz.
Is it just Failitz?
That's what I've been calling him. His name history
so
doesn't really show anything different.
Okay, so Failitz is going to be on the Morphling, and that leaves Nose to play the CK.
Nice. I usually fail at that because my short-term memory is horrible.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of lanes, I still think, it's going to be Broodmother on the long lane. It's going to be probably Quap, Chen, and Tidehunter up towards top. Obviously Chen in the jungle. And then probably Windrunner towards mid. But I mean, they could still mix it up, try and throw a screwball at Dare and see how they react.
Well, I mean, the difference between a Windrunner solo and the Queen of Pain solo isn't that huge, especially when you think about the tri lane on, or the kind of 2.5 lane that's going to be on the top lane. So either way, for Dare, it'll play out relatively similar. So yeah, I do think it's going to be that, but already we see Hawkeye, the Sand King player, moving up towards the top lane, predicting a solo Broodmother on top, and well, it looks like he's incorrect, because Broodmother's moving down to the bot lane.
Mm. I mean, one thing that is fairly interesting to me, and it doesn't seem to happen a lot, is you just send your Broodmother to some weird lane, put down a web in range of the tier 1 tower, and then see if the enemy team scramble to try and fix their lanes while you actually go somewhere else. But it does look like she's just going to be heading straight down towards this bottom lane, so CK actually going to be the safe lane farmer this game, and Sand King going to be on the hard lane solo. And we're going to have to see how that works out. I mean, Dread's already got some sentries picked up, and if he doesn't have to use them to counter with the pull, then he's already going to have those to immediately reveal off Hawkeye if he tries to sit in that sandstorm. So I don't think Hawkeye's going to be having a fun time on this top lane at all.
I mean, Sand Kings in general, what the hell could they do on that lane? It's just, your range is just so low. Level 1 Burrow Strike is like a melee range stun. It's not useful at all. And Sandstorm, I mean, great, you're invisible. They're not going to kill you. But, well, they'll just slap down the Sentry Ward and then they'll kill you. So Sand King on that top lane never really works out unless he's, you know, fortunate enough to go against another melee hero. But unfortunately for him, that's not going to be the situation. Sudoi is going to be up against a dual lane. Looks like Grumpy, did he not pick up Sentry Wards? CM? Where did the CM go? They don't have Sentry Wards on this bot lane, so Sudoi is going to be able to just sit there and leech experience all day long. Looks like the mid lane is going to be a solo lane Morphling versus a solo lane Queen of Pain. Both have a lot of versatility and mobility, I'm sorry. So I don't think either of them are going to die unless Savadoom gets a level 1 gank off as a CM.
I mean, he is right under the sight of that ward right now. And M5 will spot out that Radiant ward going down as well, so heading towards mid. I'm not sure if he's going to connect anything right now, but it looks like he's just going to try and chase off Solo. And interesting to see that Morphling already has some pooled regen from his teammates as well, so just going to be out-surviving the Shadow Strike spam, if that's what Solo's going for. And Savadoom now laying down the harass on this mid lane.
Yeah, I do think Savadoom's just going to stay here. With that Frostbite, they could actually get a kill on this Queen of Pain. If the Crystal Maiden wasn't there, then Veilit's not a chance in actually killing that Queen of Pain, but they do have that stun, and now they're going to make a go on it. Frostbite, but an instant blink away from Solo. Once Veilitz gets a couple more levels on that waveform, or Savadoom gets an additional level, they could very easily kill this Queen of Pain. And Queen of Pain, I mean, she needs her fast bottle in order to both harass and honestly live this lane, because she's already almost out of tangos.
Yeah, she's getting fairly low on regen, and she really needs to get up to that bottle. It's getting really difficult for her to approach the creep wave right now. And up on top, Hawkeye taking some really bad harass. But pops off his salve. I just don't know what he's going to do up on this top lane. I guess just leech XP as best he can. But big limiting factor on mid, I really think, is going to be the mana for this Crystal Maiden. She's already used her Clarity, and she's got one of each of her spells left, pretty much.
What Hawkeye can do is just slide down to this mid lane. I mean, they're going to have a little bit of trouble killing this Queen of Pain. The burst damage will have to be just enough. But if you add a Burrow Strike to that equation, then Sand King's going to get a lot more than he's getting on this top lane. He's surprisingly level 2. So I guess Dread was pulling instead of really harassing that Sand King back. But that'll actually guarantee him something, or at least jungle. I really don't like it when players just sit on this top lane and get literally nothing, when they could be in the jungle or roaming around and getting something out of their early game.
Yeah, I mean, the big issue is always that he just needs to be so careful. Chen could come across any time. They've already placed down one sentry, but Dread's still got one in his inventory. So Hawkeye needs to be so careful. I mean, Nexus is going to come around now. Just give him some arrows to the face, but yeah, he's being forced back so much on this top lane. He's going to get a couple of creeps now, but it's definitely not what he would have been hoping for.
It's the sad part about being a melee hero on that long lane, except for you know, Darkseer and Broodmother, who have it really easy. But yeah, anyway, M5, they're actually laning the Windrunner as the primary farmer on the top lane. And what do you think about that? I mean, she's probably going to go for as quick a mech as she possibly can. Do you think it would have been better for them to... Oh, well, maybe they're going to go for Hawkeye?
No,
No,
yeah,
okay.
it looks like he's just gonna cop some harass. But no, I do like the really farmed Windrunner, especially with how good Force Stick is in this version. If you can get your Windrunner with, even Mana Boots, Mech, and Force Stick all farmed up extremely quickly, and I mean, most farmed here on the map right now is Nexus. All those
Failitz is
items
diving
should
very
be
aggressively on the mid lane, trying to get a kill on the Queen of Pain. Scream of Pain does go out, and Failitz just needs one more right click. He is going to land it. And there's the first blood being drawn by the Morphling. That Crystal Maiden did a ton of damage.
Yeah, wow. See, I just didn't catch that at all, so my mistake. But yeah, CM hanging around on that mid lane, and I guess Quap just got slightly out of position and damage connected. And I mean, Morphling's now completely in control of this middle lane. So Savadum's going to be fine to wander up and find the 4-minute rune as well. So maybe going to be able to help out in this top lane just a little bit. We'll have to see.
If he does go up there, I'm pretty sure he's just going to get ground down. I mean, they have the Wiltkins, so that's a lot of bonus armor for the entire wave. Nexus even has the Ring of Basilius turned on. Hawkeye's... well, Nexus is looking... Oh, okay, I just completely missed that gank on the bottom lane. I'm too busy watching the top lane. But we do have Savadoom circling around with the Morphling to support. The tower's getting dangerous low. There's the Burrow Strike onto Stallianer, but Savadoom's taking a lot of damage. Waveform in for Veil is trying to go for Stallianer, but this Crystal Maiden does drop. Hawkeye ready to get that nuke on Stallianer, but it looks like he is going to drop down. The tower is now in deny range, but I don't think it's possible for Dare to actually get it. Veil's going to look for a kill onto Dread. He's very low. There's the Waveform going to get that as the tower is destroyed by the Dire. Hawkeye with very low HP does have a Burrow Strike. He is going to land it onto Nexus. Veil's going to bottle up, and he needs another Waveform if he wants to get a kill on this Windrunner. He's going to follow her up on the high ground. Waveform down. Is it going to land? It is going to land. Nexus popping off that Windrunner, and he should be fine.
Yeah, so M5 actually coming off fairly well from that engagement. They managed to pick up the tower. They got the kill on the CM as well. I mean, Morphling getting more kills, not the best outcome, but still fairly good, I think, for M5. And again, yeah, we missed that kill down on bottom lane. Sidoi going down, and he's already, now that we've paused up again, he is extremely low again. So he needs to be really careful. Actually, did he die? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. And then I'm pretty sure he just came back and Nose just kicked his ass with the Chaos Bolt Reality Rift.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a level 6 CK versus a level 4 Broodmother. Sentry Ward's right next to her. And once Nose gets a little bit more mana, he can go aggressive once again. So Sidoi's got to watch himself. Still did not yet with the Soul Ring.
And Solo's actually disconnected, but we're unpaused now. So yeah, there we go. There's the repause. But yeah, I mean, CK, he's got that Sage's Mask. He's got the Power Tread. So it looks like he's heading towards that urn. Not sure if he's going to try and be aggressive all over the map, because the big thing for me with CK is that he sort of falls off a cliff in the mid game. He's great early game. Reality Rift and Chaos Bolt is so strong. But until he can get some tankier items up late game, then the illusions just don't really help him out that much. And I mean, in that mid game, I do think he's not as much of a dominant force as he is in the early and late.
And then the question is, do they really need the CK? I mean, I do agree with you, like, pretty much whatever you said, but, I mean, mid lane is handling itself very well, in top lane, well, that's pretty much a lost cause. Even if CK was there, it wouldn't have helped. Sidoi now in a little bit of trouble. Split Earth, not going to miss, and he's going to walk away. But Nose, he's not being contested very hard in this bottom lane. I mean, the solo lane Broodmother, who's already under-leveled, already under-farmed, versus the CK, the Broodmother's not going to have all that much going for her, so Nose has a very easy time down here. It's just a lot of time to farm. Mid lane, Savadoom, gotta watch out for that Shackle angle, but a Blink in plus a Scream is going to kill off this Crystal Maiden. Power Shot whiffing, though, and that'll allow Failitz to get a Waveform kill onto the Queen of Pain. Nexus is going to win running once again and be safe. Sidoi is going to take a chain stun on the bot lanes. Chaos Bolt, 4-second stun. They do have a Sentry Ward down. This could be the death of Sidoi for the second time. Edict, unfortunately, being tanked by a lot of creeps, but doesn't matter because 4-second stun is pretty freaking imba, and they do pick up the Broodmother once again.
Yeah, more kills going the way of Dare. I mean, they're extending their lead out to 6-2.
The top lane.
Shackle is going to land. Yeah, Shackle's going to land up on top lane. And Morphling coming in with these illusions. He's looking for Dread, but Dread's juking into these trees. And Selenium's up here as well. Maybe going to send Dread back to base, but Nex is now in trouble. So he's going to get away with the win run. And Hawkeye comes in as well. I think, Dare, long way from home. Can they find anything? Chen creeps are still chasing. Power Shot going to fly through, but Hawkeye just going to limp away with his life. And Failitz going to pick off that Chen creep as well.
He's going to teleport away. Looks like he will be fine. Failitz should be fine as well. Not the most mana, but he does have a bottle charge, so he should be pretty healthy. But, I mean, Dare diving very aggressively for that. Dread, fortunately for him, he did survive. So M5, yeah, they are behind in kills. And if you take a look at the gold graph, well, they're actually slightly ahead far as the gold earned simply because of the farming discrepancy. But with the 6-2 kill advantage, Dara is holding the experience lead at the moment, and well, I do believe this does favor Dara in the long run, because Morphling has been very involved, 3-0-1 on him, so he's been involved in 4 out of the 6 kills, and he's the one who's going to scale into the late game, CK as well, whereas M5, the only real late game hero that you could really classify as late game is the Broodmother, and even then, she has a hard time going toe-to-toe with the Morphling plus CK.
Yeah, I mean, I think M5 really needs to be looking for this sort of all-in push. I mean, Grumpy is now solo down on this bottom lane, so Cedo is finding a little bit more, but CK is going to TP straight back in. And Mech is actually being farmed up by Chen right now. So, I mean, once that Mech is online, once Nexus manages to finish up something, you know, be probably the 4-stick, maybe they can go for something then, but we'll have to see. I mean, they're definitely on the back foot now, and I think the onus on them is to try and end it early.
But, I don't know. I don't know if that's... I definitely agree that's what they should do. That's what they have to do. But they're not winning any lane except for the top lane. And even then, Windrunner's been the primary farmer there. It's not even like they had an anti-mage free farming that top lane. It's been Windrunner, who doesn't scale all that well into the late game. So M5, they're behind pretty much as far as every aspect of the game. So they're going to have to make something happen. And, well, with Hawkeye perched on the high ground, now level 6, level 3 Burrow Strike on him. He's going to go straight in for Dread. Dread's going to take a Crystal Nova as well, and the waveform over the top will give the Morphling yet another kill. Solo is going to take a Freeze Bite, blink away. Yes, just in time before that Burrow Strike does come back. And Derek pick up another kill for free. M5 just bleeding kills at this point.
Yeah, I mean, another kill onto that Morphling. He's 4-0-1. He's just doing so well, and it looks like it might be a tier 1 as well. TP support's now coming in. But, yeah, this Morphling is getting really scary.
In the meantime, the bot lane is also pushing, so M5, they're being pressured at every lane except for top, where Nexus is still farming. It is probably going to be that 4-stack. Vale is taking a lot of damage. Sonic Wave going to burst down the Morphling instantly, and now Savadoom trying to teleport herself out of this. Centaur Stomp not in time. But the bottom lane, they did push it pretty aggressively. They brought the tower down to half health, and if they get a little bit more time with that level 4 Edict, that tower should go down very shortly once they actually decide to take that down. But now with 3 heroes on the mid lane for M5 plus 2 Centaurs, I do think the mid lane for Dara is in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a tier 1 for a tier 1 trade here, perhaps. Solo's now heading down to just grab up this 10-minute rune, but Dara... Actually, no, TP's going to go out from Nose. They want to defend this tier 1 on mid. Dread's going to be sent back to base.
Lots of burst damage as Nose tries to make something happen. Stallianer taking another 4-second stun. This CK, so lucky with these stuns. And they do pick up yet another kill. Looks like they might get a trade on this bot lane. Solo does have a double damage rune. Sedoy going to open up with the spiders. Going to try to get any damage he can on Grumpy. Scream of Pain, plus the right clicks. Grumpy not even enough time to lower his arms and split the earth. As Solo does pick up a much needed kill for M5.
Yeah, I mean, getting a kill down on that bottom lane, it's a huge boon, and we'll see if Solo hangs out here. CK needs to be fairly careful, and Cedo is in a much better, well, a way better position now than he was just a few minutes ago. Looks like it's going to happen down in this bot lane.
Yeah, Nose is going to take a web, revealing all the possible juke paths, blink away, but still, 2-second stun does land, and Nose is going to run away. But Sedoy has a decent spider army. He can make it a lot bigger with the Soul Ring Spiderlings, level 4 now, so these spiders are going to stack up, and the tower is going to take a little bit of damage, but with Grumpy teleporting in once again, he should be able to defend this, although it's going to be a little bit close. But yeah, I mean, M5, they're still behind, and they're not looking to get ahead anytime soon. In the mid lane, Dread can take a little bit of Crystal Nova harassment. Both of them trying to look for an opportunity to get the kill on each other. If the Crystal Maiden lands a Frostbite, then it doesn't really matter who. They're probably going to die on that lane.
I think the big thing for me right now that's sort of going to swing this mid lane is that Dread now finally level 7. Well, I mean, was level 6 before, but has that Ravage online. And we still haven't seen it used just yet, so that could really swing one of these tower pushes one way or the other.
And then again, Sand King is level 8, so he does have that Epicenter up. Of course, you know, the Ravage is a lot easier to land than the Epicenter, but when you have a Burrow Strike on top of that, well, it is a pretty large team fight force for Dara. Now Nexus on the top lane, going to try to get a kill on this. No, he's not going to get a kill. He's just going to pressure the Sand King back. We do have a little bit of a powwow in the bot lane river, as Solo does pick up an illusion rune with Dread. Gonna look towards the bot lane. Nose is very healthy though. They're gonna need a lot of burst damage, or just, you know, a lot of damage in general. It looks like they could instead just push the tower, already down to 247 HP. And at this point with this tower, if they try to defend this, I don't think it'll work out for them. But it looks like they instead want to trade, as we see another frickin' pause. But Phaelix and Savaduma in this mid lane, they're gonna clear off some Chen creeps seemingly for free. There's no one really to back them up. Already the Frostbite on one of them, so it might be a tier 1 for a tier 1 trade.
Yeah, it looks like it might be the way. I just want to check, are we actually synced up? I'm at 27 right now, 28, 29, 30. I think
I'm a little bit behind you.
Yeah, here, I'll pause for just a second at 36, and then we can just resync really quickly.
38,
Sorry
39,
about this.
40,
Oh, wait, now you're ahead. Now you're ahead.
43, 44, 45.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
It's just easier to, like, keep the... If whoever is behind just speeds up a little bit, I think it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Just because you could use the hotkeys, which you cannot use in the frickin' hero selection screen. Valve, get your shit together.
Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, tier 1 on bots are already kind of low. We've got CK down here. He is beefy as all hell. Power Treads, Bracer, and Deeren. And looks like we're going to have him unpause. But I just don't think he's going to be going down. And looks like Solo now deciding to head back towards this middle lane, where Dare putting some good pressure on you.
Nose is going to find Stallianer in the jungle, taking a very large amount of damage. Reality Rift for the huge smack, and Leshrac with the Diabolic Edict does pick up one, but in the meantime, Queen of Pain drops to Solo in the mid lane. So ultimately, it is a Chen for Crystal Maiden. A pretty even trade there. But the mid lane, the bot lane tower does go down to Sidoi. The mid lane tower still up, as Nose and Grumpy plus Hawkeye, they're going to try to look for the Broodmother. Not going to happen, though. Push, continuing on the mid lane, M5, they took down one tower. They could be looking for a second. That might be just what they needed to get back into this game.
Yeah, and Nexus is finally down off that top lane. A lot of gold picked up on him, and now the Gush is going to fly forward, but I think Morphling is going to be fine. And another tower picked up.
So yeah, M5, they haven't dropped a tower yet. All the tier 1 towers from Dara are down. But then again, Dara, they do have the late game, and if they could find space to farm, although it's kind of difficult. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just caught the tail end of that as Tidehunter dropped to Leshrac. Hawkeye, I don't even think landed his Burrow Strike. But, I mean, Dara, if they just get free time to farm, if they get space anywhere on the map, they could still scale very well into this late game. M5, they need to be pushing, and that's exactly what they're doing. But they need to, they're on a timer. They need to take Raxes within, like, what, 35, 40 minutes, or else at that point, they're just going to outright lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, really before sort of Morphling gets 2 big items up is sort of the time frame for me. I mean, Nexus now finished up his 4-stick. He's looking to be a little bit more active on the map right now. But still, not a super high level compared to, I mean, Nose up to level 10. I guess, yeah, I mean, yeah, level 9. He's maxed out his Power Shot. He's maxed out the Shackle Shot as well. So he's about as effective as he gets until he starts building some of those damage items. So I really think this is a good time for M5 to be putting the pressure on. But again, Sidoi can't really help out that much. M5 need to be pulling heroes away from this bottom lane so that Sidoi can be picking up these towers almost for free, I think.
Well, they're trying to do that with 3 in the mid lane, but they're falling back. Dara, they're pushing pretty much everywhere except for that mid lane, and M5, they're being the ones forced back, and really they need to be the ones doing the forcing. Looks like bot lane is going to be the defense of choice. We have Solo blinking forward. He's going to look for a kill onto Nose, but he's got to be careful. One single Chaos Bolt could mean the death of his Queen of Pain. Even Sand King, Burrow striking into the trees. The web does go out, but it's not in time. Everyone from the spot lane does survive. The tower is in deny range, and it looks like this tower is going to be denied.
Yeah. Up on top, a little bit of action. Morphling getting fairly low, but it looks like he might TP out now. Ravage is going to pop. Still morphing strength, not much mana left. He's almost dead. Power Shot gonna fly through. One more right click is all they need. Is Morphling gonna be able to make it out? No, Dread gonna be able to pick up that kill. But yeah, big dive up on top, I guess, while the aggression is going down.
Oh, I don't think they're done yet. Nose is going to try to make something happen onto Nexus, but the wind run does pop off. 2-second stun on him, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Sonic Wave does go up, but Nose still alive. Burrow Strike through from Hawkeye is going to pick up that Windrunner kill. And now Hawkeye and Grumpy trying to go 2 versus Solo and Dread. Grumpy taking a lot of damage. The focus fire a little bit better for M5 as Grumpy now on the run. The blink forward from Solo will be enough to let... Yep, there it is, the kill. is up on the board now. Hawkeye on the run with level 4 Burrow Strike. Oh, he's going to go straight through Stalliana, but the net from the Troll does latch him on the ground. Dread, does he have mana for a Gush? Yes, he does. Hawkeye now invisible to Sentry Ward, instantly drops, and Tidehunter gets another kill. M5 getting the much better engagement there.
Yeah, big swing there for M5. I mean, 2 kills now the difference, as opposed to 4 or 5 as we saw it earlier. XP now actually, yeah, swinging heavily back, sort of back towards M5 right now. So they're really pulling this game back, and this is exactly what they need to be doing. It's up to them to be putting on this early pressure. I mean, they used a whole bunch of ultimates in that engagement. They used the Sonic Wave just to pick off the CK, and they used the Ravage to pick off the Morphling. But so they have to wait for that to sort of cool down. But getting a great engagement off the back of that.
Yeah, kills are kills, but then again, Dare, I mean, they're still ahead as far as the kills go. I feel like they're also ahead as far as the farm goes. The gold mostly showing the way it is because of those towers, which Dare really haven't matched up M5 as far as the towers go. But, you know, Morphling is, actually he's going for BKB. I actually don't know about this. Savadoom on top lane taking a lot of damage from Solo. Gonna pop out the freezing field. Solo's in tower range taking a lot of damage there. Will he go down to the Crystal Main Solo? Yes, he will. Queen of Pain with the big plays.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden just manning up there. That was impressive. And freezing field, I think it's underestimated. I do think we see some people going for maxing out the Crystal Nova and the Frostbite before even considering a point in it. But it's basically Omni Slash if you're up against a solo hero and not too many creeps. And it does so much damage. It's great.
Especially when the Queen of Pain uses the blink to initiate instead of using it to, you know, saving it and trying to use it to get away. So she took the full brunt of that freezing field. Nothing she could do about that. And it's even a level 1 freezing field. Usually if you do get it, it's at the 10-11 mark where you instantly get, or like not instantly, but you very quickly get the quick 2 points in that. But regardless, the Queen of Pain does drop. I'm sure she won't be making that mistake again. But it looks like M5 with the Gush minus armor plus a couple of Spiderlings. No, there's actually no Spiderlings at all. They're going to be trying to go for Roshan. Let's see if Dare, they might know about this. The Sentry Ward was up, so yes, Dare, I'm sure they do know about this. This could be the next fight over the Aegis, but Roshan is dropping very low. We do have Phalix moving straight in for Dread. Ravage onto 3, but Dread locked in place. No follow-up there. Power Shot plus Spiderlings onto Grumpy. Sonic Wave going to instantly annihilate the Leshrac, but Tidehunter drops as well. Phalix with BKB now pop, taking a lot of physical damage. Brostrike in from Hawkeye. Going to get that Epicenter off onto Nexus. 4-second stun as well. Hand of God popping off. Not going to be enough. Stallianer as well as Nexus drop instantly. Savadoom is getting picked off by Solo, who's now going to blink up onto the high ground. And no, she's not. She's instead going to chase down Nose. The Troll Trap is going to be incoming. There's a... Whoa, that stun flew all the way across the screen onto Solo. But M5 do lose a couple. They're not done yet. Shackle Shot onto Hawkeye and Phalix. They lined up perfectly. There goes the Sand King, and now Phalix taking a lot of damage. But a beautiful split earth from Grumpy on the high ground is going to save at least his life for the short term. But I don't know. 4 staff on Nexus. The Edict is going to try to just harass everyone back. But the Spiderling is actually taking a lot of that. Grumpy getting slowed down by 1 point of that incapacitating bite. Or I guess 2 points. And Broodmother does get yet another kill. Once again, the fight's going in favor of M5.
Yeah, M5, I mean, there was a buyback there from Nexus and then TPing straight back out, but it means that they can finish off this Roshan now. So overall, I think a very worthwhile buyback. And we saw that Shackle Shot on the Sand King and the Morphling, and that really, you know, turned the tides of this fight. And Grumpy ending up having to throw his life away just to save the Morphling in the end. And Roshan now goes down. Winner are going to pick that up. So M5 looking really strong right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that Dara thought the fight was over, but I don't know if they just missed the fact that Nexus fought back or something like that. I mean, they definitely didn't expect that, but now Reality Rift onto Nexus, 2-second stun. Phalix is here for that waveform through, hitting Dread as well. Nexus going the complete opposite direction, going to take an Earn Charge on her way out, but nothing else for Dara is going to slow that Windrunner down. She's going to make it out alive. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Dara kind of made a little bit of a tactical oversight, I want to say, because they lined up perfectly. They were standing in a literal perfect line for that Windrunner to shackle, and usually these teams are smarter than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, that was a really unfortunate shackle, but the big thing for me in that fight was, I mean, M5, they blew the Sonic Wave, they blew the Ravage. Those were both fairly early on, and actually just watch out for Nose up on this top lane.
Stallianer also, he's hunting. He's going to catch a Tidehunter with a 2-second stun. No more disables though from the Chen creeps. Nose, he's going to get support from Hawkeye, but Chen does send the Tidehunter back to the base. Savadoom's going to get that lockdown. Nose taking a lot of spell damage to the Queen Pain, is going to pick up the CK. Now the freezing field once again from Savadoom doing heavy damage to the Queen of Pain. He does get brought down. Dare was now on the run. Hawkeye going to try to burrow strike into the trees. He does land it, but Grumpy, you don't want to be there. There's a Ravage canceling off the TP. They're also going to spot off Hawkeye with that. And Dara dropping 4 in exchange for only the Queen of Pain. M5, they're just taking better and better fights as this game progresses.
Yeah, they're fighting around their ultimates perfectly. And I mean, not only that, that was a really strange engagement for Dara to take. They all sort of, again, trickled in, and it was a point that I was going to bring up just before we sort of saw that action, that with that fight in the Roshan pit, M5, they'd already blown the Ravage, they'd already blown the Sonic Wave, but the big thing was that Phalix had already blown his BKB as well, and he's going to get harassed now down on the bottom lane. Seedoy going for this.
Yeah, he does have that Orchid up. Oh, what? Seedoy just took a ton of damage from Phalix. I wasn't exactly paying much attention to that, but yeah, the Broodmother does drop. Phalix is turning around onto that, but looks like he's needed somewhere else because there are 3 on the top tier 2 tower. He's going to get brought down dangerously though. Fortification is available. There's the Reality Rift on Stallion. He gets 4 staff back, but another 4-second stun. This Chen is toast. Shackling Grumpy to Savadoom, however. That might buy enough time for Stallion to get a couple more spells off. Grumpy is going to live. Savadoom does not live though. And M5, they pick up 1, but that push not worth it unless they take this tower. But this tower gets denied, which it just did get denied. Well, Dara just successfully defended. Split Earth, going to throw out that creep wave. Dread seems like he wants to go in with Nexus, but they got to be careful because this Chaos Knight is fearsome at this point. Gush onto nose, no shackle shot angle. He's trying to run away, but here comes Hawkeye with the 2-man burst. No, it's actually 1 man. But Dread taking a 3-second stun. Take a little bit of right-click damage as well. Ravage is not up. Epicenter was up. But regardless, Dara do not want to fight this. The CK kind of low on mana, kind of low on resources, so he's just going to fall back. And the tower does get denied from Dara.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, the Chen for the CM and the tower denied. So not the best outcome for M5. I mean, CM's barely losing anything. She's shopping right before she dies, pretty much every single time. So not really losing any of that unreliable gold. But yeah.
Oh, blink forward and a burst strike onto the top lane. Waveform through. Nexus taking a lot of damage. He does have that Aegis plus a 4-staff, and he just went a mile in like 0.5 seconds. On the bot lane, there are 2 solo as well as Seedoy looking for a kill on Savadoom. The Queen of Pain, does she really deserve this? I don't think she does. Split Earth is going to slow them both down. Savadoom is going to take away from the Orchid regardless, though. Solo took a 3-second stun. He's going to get dropped by the tower. Reality Rift onto Seedoy trying to latch on, but unfortunately, Reality Rift in this game, not the most reliable spell because of that animation is so misleading. It always breaks off.
Yeah, and Seedoy looks like he will just escape with his life. And he's actually heading towards a BKB right now, so Ogre Clip picked up on him. I mean, he continues to pressure down on this bottom lane, but again, with the Broodmother, that's sort of what she does. Camps out in one lane for the entire game, pretty much, until you start going for those Raxes. And the tier 2 is still up on this bot lane, so I think, I mean, Dara, they've been doing a great job of sort of relieving the pressure on bot and not having to go 5-man on the other lanes. M5 just haven't been strong enough to force them to bring their full force to bear in another lane.
I'm going to ask you about something. In my opinion, the Morphling, he went for a BKB first, and, well, he had a really good start. That mid lane with CM supporting was very easy for him, and he had a lot of kills to boot. Do you think the Black King Bar was actually the best choice of items, or do you think an Ethereal Blade, Shotgun, or even a Lincoln Sphere would have been better for him?
I mean, I think the big damage that he really needs to be avoiding is the Sonic Wave, it is the Ravage. The BKB helps, but unfortunately he went really active once. Wow. Just escaping there with the, well, not just escaping, I think Morphling always has something up his sleeve. But yeah, I think he got the BKB and then he decided to be really active, and I think it's the same sort of thing that we see CK sort of making the same mistake from time to time. You know, he gets up those starting items, and then he decides that he needs to roam around the map, gank, and you don't really get any farm after that. And so, I mean, the next big item has taken so long for him to get up. He's very close to the Manta now, but, I mean, had he continued just solidly farming, I think he could have had that up already, so.
Could we do a quick time check? I'm at 31 in the game clock timer on top, 33, 34, 35, 36.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. We do have a little bit of clumping action from M5. Do they want to smoke? They're kind of grouping like it. Where is it going to be? They even have smoke. Smoke on the courier? No. They're just grouping together for a little bit of meet and greet. Seedoy still on the spot lane doing... Whoa! Fed a lot of Spiderlings to Hawkeye. Oh, not quite, but actually most of the Spiderlings do live. But Hawkeye, with level 4 Caustic Finale, I mean, Sadoy's got to be careful. He can't just throw the Spiderlings away like that, because Grumpy even has 3 points in Lightning plus 2 points in that Pulse Nova. So that Spiderling's not going to last long. Dread looking for a kill onto Nose, but a 3-second stun is going to slow him down. Savadoom is going to close the distance, get a Crystal Nova off, but that's just pressuring the Tidehunter back. Everyone from M5 sliding down to that bot lane. Looks like their objective is going to be that tier 2 tower, but this time they got to watch out, because the Sand King is going to have all the time in the world to prep that Blink Epicenter, and if it does land, M5 don't have the pipe. They're pretty fragile, so they could melt.
Yeah, I mean, if that epicenter lands, that's going to be a big thing, but I think M5, they're really looking to use the Aegis here. They've only got a couple minutes with it left, so Wildkin Tornadoes now being set up.
Oh, there's a Ravage from Dreads. Can instantly burst down Valence and the Crystal Maiden. They've lined up once again. Blink Burrow Strike is going to land Hawkeye that good epicenter, but it's not going to kill anyone. The Hand of God plus the mech does keep everyone very healthy. In the meantime, Nose coming around from the backside, but Grumpy is taking a lot of damage. Power Shot can fly through, and the right click from Kuni Pain going to be enough. Nose is going to arrive into this fight, going to try to go for Dread, but he's vastly outnumbered. He's going to get silenced from the Orchid. Unfortunately, no more stuns. Burrow Strike in from Hawkeye as he instantly blinks out, and CK does pick up the Tidehunter with something. This is the illusion. Stallioner. Oh no, they lined up once again. Nose and Hawkeye both stunned. Scream of Pain. Sadoy with the ultimate up. Insatiable Hunger doing a ton of damage, and Darer lose 4 once again. M5, they're going to take the tower on top of that. Another good fight for M5, and they capitalize on it even more with the tower, and Nexus, he still has that Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic fight for M5. I just don't think Dare were prepared at all for that big Blink Ravage. And immediately bursting down the Morph. I mean, most of the time, you think of him as just so survivable. Oh, there's no way to pick him off. He's just going to more strength. But the combined burst damage between the Sonic Wave and the Ravage just doing so much. And looks like it's going to be a tier 3 picked up as well. I mean, Nexus can hang back here with the win run as long as he wants. He's still got that Aegis.
There comes Morphling once again, trying to go for solo, taking a lot of damage, but he does blink out. Dust flying off. Sadoy is spotted. It's going to replicate closer to the Queen of Pain. Does bring him down. Force staffing. Sadoy out. Nexus is trying to make his way out. Shackling once again. Wow, Nexus has been on point with these shackles, constantly landing it on 2 heroes. And what more could you ask from a Windrunner? Everyone from M5, except for that Queen of Pain, is going to make it out alive, but they did get the tier 3 tower. So that does mean that they could constantly apply pressure to that lane. And I was saying before, they have a time period where they need to make something happen, and well, they are making things happen. The tier 3 tower is now gone. I'm sure in due time they will set themselves up to take down the Raxes, or at least try to pressure that down. And even the mid lane by itself, no heroes required, does get killed by the Dire. So M5, they're taking a pretty good lead in this game. You can see the gold graph, 7,500 experience, something like 6,000. In favor of them. Savadoom going to run to Nexus. Shackling. What the hell is that shackle angle? Savadoom's going to take a power shot as Nexus is going to get engaged upon by Nose. Looking for the stun. It is a 3-second stun on Nexus. Earn charge to follow. Does Savadoom have any mana? Yes. He's going to land the Frostbite onto Nexus. A lot of damage onto his Windrunner, but this could just be the Aegis. And it is the Aegis. She's going to be up again. She will have Wind Run and Force Staff in a little bit, so I think she might be safe. Split Earth missing. Savadoom getting in the way a little bit. Nose instead going to go for that Chen. Here comes Dread to support Nexus. The 2-man ultimate from the Crystal Maiden, not going to be enough as Tidehunter does pick up that kill. Chen, in the meantime, does die to Nose and Grumpy, but now Nose and Grumpy, they're both in a very rough position. They're going to teleport out, and they should both be fine. In the meantime, the bot lane, they tried to go for the Morphling, but I believe he had a replicate up. No, he just waveformed out, and there's no stuns available for M5, so the Morphling does survive there.
Yeah, I mean, engagements all over the map there, but M5, doing fairly well. I mean, obviously the Aegis being burned, but Roshan is now back up anyway, so not a huge loss there. And the big thing for me is that the last team fight that they took, they timed it perfectly such that their ultimates are now up right as Roshan is coming online again. They're not getting stuck in that awkward position where you know that Roshan is up, but you've still got 50 seconds to the Ravage, 40 seconds to the Ravage. And so taking perfect advantage of that timing, of the fact that they had the Aegis up. And now it looks like they're probably going to be able to pick up another one. I mean, Dare are getting into position to try and contest this, but Savadoom's still a long way away, and same thing with Valence.
Both teams do know that they're going for Roshan. Sand King could get a very tightly packed epicenter here, but he's got to go soon. Roshan is dropping 2,500, 2,000, and Dare, they're a little bit too far away. It looks like they're not even going to try. They're going to give up the Roshan. Queen of Pain this time with the double life. She also does have that BKB, so Queen of Pain can transition into a right-click roll. We do have Nexus going to wind run forward, trying to get Valence, who does have that waveform available, going to go onto the low ground. He's going to take a gush, and he's still in a little bit of trouble. Solo going to keep chasing. Blacking Bar does pop off, and they don't have anything to interrupt this through the TP, and the physical right-click won't be enough. But with that Aegis, they could go right back to the bot lane and try to take down some Raxes, because they do have all those big ultimates still available to them, as you said before.
Yeah, they've got the ultimates, they've got 3 Wildkins, and Nexus has his Hex up as well. Courier now flying out to grab up the Mystic Staff, so that's going to be finished on him. And, I mean, M5 there just in a fantastic position right now. And even they managed to force out the BKB from the Morphling, so if they go straight onto the high ground now, he doesn't have that available.
We have Spiderlings leading the way, and the Tornadoes are starting. If the Tornadoes can find the Sand King, that's going to be devastating for him. That means he's got a Burrow Strike Epicenter, and that's definitely not what you want. It's pretty much why you get the Blink Dagger, so you can avoid that. The Rax is now starting to take a little bit of damage. You can see Sudoi even laying webs in places where Sand Kings usually do hide for that Epicenter, but Sand King is way up to the north. Dread is going to take Reality Rift, and he's going to be the target. Splitter is completely missing, force-staffing Dread out, but the Raxes have gone down. Nose looking to make something happen with that Phantasm, but it's a little bit too little too late. Everyone from M5, they're just simply falling back. And M5, I mean, they walk in, they smash the Raxes, and then they walk out. What more can you want out of a push?
Yeah, exactly, and they weren't even forced to blow anything to get that, and they forced a reaction from Dare. I mean, Nose, BKB on cooldown, Phantasm on cooldown. He's not going to be contributing all that much to this next team fight. And the ranged Rax go down as well. M5 pick it up for free. I mean, all it cost them was the 3 Wildkin Tornadoes. No Ravage, no Sonic Wave. I mean, it's even got a 40-second cooldown on the Sonic Wave. Using that is not a significant investment at this point. And they're just going to head straight towards this middle lane. Can Dare, stage the defense here?
Well, M5, they have all the time in the world because bottom lane is going to continue pushing. Spiderlings to the front, sacrificial victims to the Sandstorm, it looks like. But now we do have the Tornadoes back up once again, going to try to spot out Hawkeye. And if he gets tagged by a Tornado, yeah, that means no Burrow Strike for him. 4-second stun onto Nexus. Dread taking a Burrow Strike as well. Looks like Sudoi is going to get Reality Rift back in, dropping very low, but with the Lifesteal won't be enough. Sonic Wave does go out, Nose trying to shackle something, but he will walk away with under 100 life. Looks like the Sand King is prepping his Epicenter now, going to completely whiff it onto everything, so nothing can happen there. Dread taking a Freezing Field once again. The carry CM doing work. Nose is going to take a Ravage to the face, however, plus an Anchor Smash. Solo still alive in this fight. Power Shot and latching Hawkeye onto Savadoom once again. Oh my god, Nexus. There goes one, and looks like, well, Solo's actually going to drop the Aegis. Nexus still alive in this fight, but he's got to walk out. He does get bursted down before he can pop off any Majestic charges. Stoy now return to the fight, going to silence Grumpy. Will there be enough damage? Solo still in the back, killing off people. Going to change his target onto Grumpy, and Dare, they only have Phalets left. And with 3 now onto this mid lane, this could be the end of these middle lane Raxes. Do they have any buybacks? I don't believe they do. No, they don't have any buybacks, so it's only Morphling to defend this. These mid lane Raxes are going to go down.
Yeah, these mid-lane Raxes are going to go down. And one big thing that I want to point out from that fight was just extreme patience from Dread on that Ravage. There were a couple of times where he was, Phalets, wow, splitting off the silence. So it looks like he might be going down here. Still morphing strength. Actually going to get 1 kill. Still morphing strength. Buyback now from the Queen of Pain. But Phalets going to be able to pick that up. Well done by him. But Rax still going to be going down. Not going to be able to hold that off from the Spiderling army. But
so M5. Yeah, go.
Yeah, M5. They've timed these last few minutes perfectly. Again, they've utilized the big cooldowns properly. I mean, ever since they went for that push down in the bottom lane, got Roshan uncontested, came back, postured with their ultimates, but managed to pick up the Raxes without actually having to commit them. And then again, so patient with this Ravage. I mean, Dread in that fight, he drops low 4 or 5 times, got 4-sticked around, stunned up, but still waited for the right time to pop that off. And then Solo was able to come back and, mop up after the Aegis was burned. So, extremely well played by M5.
Now M5, they're probably going to group up onto the top lane. That's their last objective. Once they get that last Rax down, well, Dare, they're going to be hard-pressed to defend against melee creeps. If they do bring down the Raxes, then the only chance for Dare to win this game is one desperate final push. But they're just going to slow push it. They have all the time in the world. Burrow Strike in from Hawkeye, going to land onto Solo, instantly popping off that BKB, but it looks like they could fight this. Shackle Shot once again, landing on 2. Freezing Field from Savadoom doing a ton of damage to everyone. He's going to take a Sonic Wave for her troubles. There she goes. Sudoi with the BKB up. Everyone with the BKB up. Actually going to get a huge Burrow Strike onto pretty much everyone. There's the Epicenter as well. Stallion going to drop. So far, the Queen of Pain and the Chen only wants to drop Sudoi. You're going to try to make his way up, but a Reality Rift plus the illusion damage from the Phantasm is going to bring down Sudoi, and M5. They did not win this fight. This is like the first fight in however many minutes, like 20, 50, or something minutes, that they did not win. Looks like they're not done. Nexus, you're going to try to focus fire onto Hawkeye, but it's not going to be enough. Force Staff when Windrun will get her out of there. But M5 dropping 3. This could be Dara's chance to pick up the top Raxes.
Yeah, I mean, M5, they don't have any lines of defense up on top, but mid and bot are pushing in. They've got to send somebody back to defend, so looks like they're not actually going to be able to claim off anything from that team fight. Well fought by them, but again, I mean, they popped off everything on the CK, and Nexus now looking for Valence.
Valence is going to get hexed up. Gush as well, he's strength morphing, so I think he should be fine. Get a Manta style split and just turn around and try to go for Nexus. Shackle again, once again. Onto Valence. Shackle again, once again. What the hell am I saying? But Shackle on the Morphling going to slow him down. But Nexus and Dread playing a very dangerous game with this Morphling. I mean, even though Dare, they're not really getting the upper hand in most of these fights, their Morphling is still getting pretty big. Nose now with the double damage. That's as big as you could get. Oh my god. That Windrunner didn't stand a chance.
That crit. That crit. Did he just crit for 1.3k?
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's ridiculous. I mean,
double damage rune, man.
Yeah, I mean, even had, I think still the Hex might have been off cooldown there, but just no time to react at all. That was absolutely huge. But yeah, I mean, M5 looking a little bit sloppy now, maybe hanging around a little bit too long in the river. They do still have all of their ultimates available aside from the Hand of God, but that's going to be off cooldown in about 15 seconds. And I mean, they are, well, I mean, XP is now swinging back 2-0, but still 10k the gold difference right now. And that gold difference is big. I mean, that's one Hex. Chen is working towards one as well. I mean, he's had that Force Staff for a while. So, and it's great to get people away from the DK as well. So, M5, I think they've really got all the time in the world right now. I mean, Morphling can still get bigger. He's now actually picked up an Eye of Scotty as well, so he is doing a ton of damage. And I mean, Dare, they have managed to equalize the kills, so they're still not out of it just yet. As we get later, the Raxes become less and less relevant.
Yeah, M5, I mean, they did take 2 Raxes, so they're still in a very good position, but their damage, their right-click damage, is going to start to drop off. Queen of Pain has picked up that BKB. Looks like Broodmother going to go for a Butterfly, so looking to mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from the Morphling, coming out from the CK. But M5, they got to make a push onto the top lane. Otherwise, this Morphling and CK, it doesn't matter if they're down 2 Raxes. If all of M5's heroes are dead, then they cannot defend their own base, and well, Raxes don't matter at that point. It looks like this is going to be the attempt. Everyone from M5 grouping up onto this top lane. This is their shot to win the game, and this is really Dare to try to defend this. And if they do manage to defend this, well, they do still have a long ways to go, but they'll be looking a little bit better in the future fights.
Yeah, and M5 need to be extremely careful. This is looking like an all-in with no Aegis. If they lose this, I mean, they might not lose tier 3, but Roshan is going to be a backup off this, so they need to win this fight. They don't have any buybacks available either. So Dare...
Morphling does have a buyback. CK does not.
Tidehunter has a buyback.
So looks like M5 not going to risk it.
Yeah,
they
no, I guess
probably want buybacks.
I think, yeah, I guess looking for buybacks and realizing that Roshan's going to be up in another minute. Had they taken that fight and lost it, then that would have been Aegis and Cheese going the way of Dare, and that's just not something that they want to give up right now. So, good decision by them, I think, to back off and just play it safe until they can guaranteed get this Roshan. And with bot lane and mid pushing in, it makes it more difficult for Dare to get over to that pit, but they are going to smoke up now, so looks like they really want to contest this.
That is essentially a 5-man smoke with the Replicate being one of the men there. Roshan is not yet up, but they could still catch off Dread. Knows in the breach of high ground, blink away from Dread, but he's still stunned for 4 seconds. Looks like they didn't know if that stun landed, so they're not going to go for that Tidehunter, but mid lane is still pushing. When they smoked up, they walked right past that huge creep wave, and well, it's going to continue pushing. Let's see if they actually want to sacrifice some of their team fight to defend that. They do still have a couple of buildings up, but the buildings are very weak, so they're not going to hold the creeps back for very long. And this is probably just going to be a huge Roshan standoff. Look towards the big spells for M5 being the Sonic Wave and Ravage. Dare, if they land a good Epicenter, that could be it because their Morphling is dishing at this point. Roshan still not yet up, and both teams just posing just very carefully for this next fight.
Yeah, but I think the big thing for M5 is the historical advantage. I mean, mid lane is pushing in right now, and Dare, are they going to send anyone back, or are they just going to try and...
There's another 4-second stun onto Dread as Nose tries to go in. Dread saying something about force, but Nose taking a lot of damage. Silenced as well. Shackle on Savadoom, not going to last. Here comes the big Epicenter from Hawkeye. Gonna instantly burst down Dread. No, Dread's still alive. Savadoom even unleashing the freezing field as well. Fail standing his ground, trying to take down whoever he can. Sodoi taking an awful lot of damage. Stallion 4-second stun in the Roshan pit. Solo on the high ground for some reason, but everyone from M5 is dying. And, well, the Dara side, they lost the Crystal Maiden. Big whoop. They still have the Morphling plus the CK. Looks like Nexus is still playing a little bit with Hawkeye, but he's got to be careful. A single Burst Strike could mean his death. Power Shot is going to scout them out. Solo and Dread on the high ground. The Ravage is still up for M5. They just did not expect that CK to be that tanky. He was tanking 3-4 heroes at times, so the Roshan is starting to get very low, but in the meantime, the tier 4s are taking some damage. Hawkeye in a very awkward position there, but Roshan is going to get brought down. Let's see if they actually want to do this. Hex onto Grumpy, shackling him to a tree as well, plus the focus fire. Ravage has been blown, but the Dire pick up both the Aegis and the Roshan kill. Grumpy is still taking focus fire, 19 HP, one more power shot, one more right click. There he goes. So M5, they pulled it out somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I guess Ravage OP.
Yeah, huge plays in the end. Perfectly timed stun from Dread, and Solo just going and snatching up that Aegis, and they got the kill as well. So in the end, M5 managing to pull it off, and I think Dare maybe a little bit slower on the Roshan than they expected to be. I mean, obviously CK can't use those Phantasms, so damage is a lot lower there, and getting picked off, so set back even further.
Yeah, the tier 4s dropped about a third of their HP, and, well, M5, they did get that Aegis, which is pretty much the entire goal of that fight. At first it was a little bit rough. Epicenter is now up. Ravage is not, however, so M5, if they want to actually push the top lane, they're going to have to wait until that Ravage is up, or else, well, I don't think they have much of a chance. You saw how much damage M5 took and how really they were unable to fight without that Ravage in that kind of first half of the fight there. They need the Ravage for the damage and the stun, and without that, it's going to be very rough for them. Looks like the Morphling actually took the cheese.
Yeah, Morphling managed to snatch up the cheese off the back of that. And it was so fortunate that Dread had that buyback there. I mean, we were talking about it when they were pushing down that top lane, and that Dread was the only one with the buyback available. Well, it paid for itself. It really did. So, I mean, good job him holding on to that gold. I mean, still basic boots, but I think that buyback was absolutely huge in that fight.
And Queen of Pain actually went for the Veil of Discord, so trying to capitalize off of the huge amount of magic damage they have. If they get a Veil of Discord hit onto Sonic Wave, onto Ravage, that could be huge, but the Ravage is not up. Solo in a very awkward position. I don't know why he decided to go here. He doesn't have a teleportation scroll, so he's stuck there for a little bit. And, well, I don't think anyone from Dara knows that he's there, so Queen of Pain has now entered the ninja mode. Bot lane pushed out pretty far for Dara, in mid lane. Well, they do have a little bit of control on that as well. So Dara, they're still behind, but they're definitely not out of it. Veilit's going to get slowed down, but he's going to replicate all the way across the map and live. Did have the cheese as well, so Morphling is going to be very difficult to kill between the Strength Morph, Waveform, plus cheese, BKB and Manta style. Well, this Morphling is going to be is going to be a hard nut to crack, really. And M5, they're still on this top lane, but they're not in full force. You can see Nexus as well as another. Oh no, Stallion going to take a 4-second stun, but it was a trap. Nose going to pop off his BKB. That was a 6-second BKB charge and teleport away. But they pulled out the BKB from the CK. Looks like let's see if that's going to be what M5 need to push in and take the final racks. And the bot lane, Nexus and Sodoi, they're still pushing out that lane. Veilitz is going to try to defend it after they leave, but the top lane really should be M5's priority.
Yeah, I mean, M5, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing right now. I mean, Dread almost finished up the Shiva's guard. Interesting to me is that Veilitz hasn't actually opted to rebuy his BKB just yet, and he doesn't have buyback for another 2 minutes. So another 10-second BKB could be a big boon to him in this next fight. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is still a version where he can sell that BKB and then just buy a new one.
Oh yeah, you could still do the rebuy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a bit of an interesting choice for me. And I'm not sure what else he can pick up. I mean, once he frees up that cheese slot, or maybe sells his Aquila, head towards a butterfly or something like that. But
Savadoom going to take a huge Sonic Wave, but it looks like the first one to drop is Nexus. Savadoom is getting worked upon by Solo, but he's going to slip into the trees, channel off. That's a teleport, not a freezing field. Boo. Solo burned his BKB charge and Sonic Wave as well. Didn't get anything, and with that Windrunner down, M5, their push just got slowed by another minute. So, I mean, they did take the 2 Raxes, but so far, Dara, they're holding very strong. No's going to try to go for Solo. Reality Rift for that extra damage. Burst Strike from Hawkeye as well. Solo getting completely chain stunned, and there goes the Aegis. Do they have any more stuns? They do have the CK Bolt. Solo going to blink out straight away and hide into... No, Fail, it's found him in the trees. Solo, you cannot hide. And Solo's going to drop for the second time. The push from M5 just got delayed by another 90 seconds.
I don't know, I think huge misplays from M5 there. Feeling confident in their position, and then just Nexus being picked off, Solo going down as well. That's the Aegis gun. Dare still have the cheese. And again, the later we get, the less relevant these Raxus become. Fail is fine to push through these through these super creep waves. So, and he's getting more farmed. I mean, he's going to get his next big item in a couple of minutes. And they've bought themselves all the time in the world. They should be able to pick up these tier 2s as well. I mean, obviously bot needs to be pushed out, but a little bit more gold in the pockets of Dare right now. And M5, I think losing an advantage and not really, they're not gaining anything for it. They gave away the Aegis for free, so 3 kills there.
Fail's gonna move right in, but take a gush, get shackled to a tree, hexed up as well. Fail's gonna take a ravage on top of that. The Morphling getting demolished, knows also slow to recall, BKB teleportation out. Is there gonna be enough right click damage? Yes, there will be. But a buyback from the Chaos Knight, and Morphling does have buyback as well. So M5, they're going to feel confident to push, but Morphling is going to be up, and, well, Morphling and CK didn't really waste anything in pushing that far. They actually did get the tower. So Morphling is going to be up, and the Ravage is going to be down. So M5, I think they're lured into a little bit of a false sense of security, because if they push in, Morphling is going to rebuy back, Blue is going to teleport back, I'm sure, and then the defense will be mounted. Looks like M5, they're not even interested in going for the top. They're just going to put the creeps in the base and then slide to the top lane. And then that's going to force Dare to choose between their tier 4s or that top lane. Looks like someone's actually teleporting back. It is the Queen of Pain trying to get as close as she can to the action. Morphling is now going to buy back, and that's going to force M5 to scatter.
Yeah, M5 doing a great job just forcing out that buyback. So, that, I mean, they got the kills, they got the buybacks as well. All it cost them was the Ravage. So that's a huge setback for the CK. And the Morphling, and Dare now going for a smoke, doing something really ballsy here. Are they going to be able to find a pickoff?
Chen, you are not in the correct position. 4 staff away. Maybe he is in the right position. Because Chen is on roller skates, and he is going to be home free, and he has an ultimate orb plus a point booster. I desperately, desperately hope that this is an Eye of Scotty, because I don't think I've ever seen an Eye of Scotty Chen before, and I would love to see it happen. But, yeah, I don't know about that. The mid lane has pushed in, doing yet more damage to the tier 4 towers. So these Raxus down still being a pretty large thorn in the side of Dare, but that's just basically keeping them in the base. So M5, they do have all the room in the world to move around. They can maneuver, they could take the Roshans, they could take the ancient camps, they could take the jungle camps. But when it comes right down to it, Dare, they could take a fight very evenly. I would even say that Dare are favored to win a fight right now because of how stacked this Morphling is, and even CK getting big as well. Whereas M5, they do have the Butterfly and the Broodmother, but will it be enough? I don't know. It's going to be very close.
I mean, Solo's doing a great job just split pushing right now, keeping the pressure down on this bottom lane. But another big thing for me right now is M5 don't have a ward on the map. I mean, they're just assuming that Dare are stuck in their base, and I think it might be a little bit faulty. Dare are smoked up. They're wandering around right now. So M5 needs to be extremely careful. They're all split up. I mean, Nexus a fair way away from Selenier and Dread, and Sidori not just hiding in the trees, but Dare are on the hunt, and they're looking for blood right now. And Roshan's going to be up in a couple of minutes. If they can force a team fight, even where M5 blow the Ravage, then they'll be in a good position to go for that Roshan. So we'll have to see if they end up. Well, they're not going to find a pickoff. So smoke in the end, not fruitful, but they're still finding some reasonable farm. And not in control of their ancients, in control a little bit of their jungle, but whose rate of farm? I mean, yeah, farm's still in favor of M5 right now, but they have taken a lot of ziggurats, I guess, in the Radiant phase.
It's 100 gold apiece. That's a lot of gold right there. I don't think they actually killed any though, so it's not going to be that much. But M5, I feel like they might be a little bit too overconfident in this game right now. They do have the 2 racks up, so they still do have a shot, but Morphling getting more and more farmed. CK is getting more and more farmed as well, and you can see how spread out M5 are. I mean, Nexus is in his jungle, Stallion is in the mid lane, 2 are in the jungle, 1's on the bot lane. This is not the kind of formation that you see from a late game team. Even Queen of Pain blowing the Sonic Wave on a creep wave. But M5, I mean, they are not really scared of Dare, and I think that's a mistake. They should be terrified of Dare, because if they get caught out by a single Chaos Bolt, then, well, the Burrow Strikes are going to fly, the Eye of Scotty is going to slow, Split Earth on top of that, and really their heroes are not safe, BKB or no BKB. So I feel like M5, what they really need to do is smoke up and try to get a pick onto Dara, but Dara, they're moving like a team should move in the late game, whereas M5, I mean, if you just look at the minimap, you would assume this is like 20 minutes into the game where everyone is doing their own thing.
I think the big thing right now for M5 is that they're hoping that they can take this Roshan reasonably uncontested. They're keeping the pressure on the lanes. I mean, we've seen Solo split pushing down on that bottom lane, forcing Dara to split up and try and push the lanes out. And right now, everybody's playing the lane control game, trying to get into a good position for this Roshan, and everything is available for both teams. Just gonna check who's got buyback. Almost everyone except from the Morphling, the CK, and the Queen of Pain, but Roshan's now up, and Replicate's gonna head in there right now, and Grumpy and Savadoom in position as well, so Dara looking to contest this.
Look at this Crystal Maiden leading the charge. Balls of steel on this hero. She's even going to breach the high ground. She doesn't give a crap. She's going to go straight for Dread. Cancel off that Blink Dagger. He now doesn't have a good position for a Ravage. 3-second stun going to die that. And there is the constant stunning. Dread is going to drop. Does he have buyback? Yes, he does. So he's going to buy back instantly. But Tidehunter kind of throwing his life away. In the meantime, Stallion on the top lane, pushing that out. And Dara, they're falling back. I guess they're happy with getting that buyback out of the Tidehunter. But M5, they're just going to go straight for the Roshan pit. Sadoy, burn the insatiable hunger, try to bring down this Roshan as fast as possible, and it's going pretty quickly.
Yeah, going really quickly, and Phaelix, he's going to have the Replicate up in just a second as well, but no TP for him, so he's not going to be able to hold off on Stellianer, so No's now heading back to try and stop that, but Stellianer just does not care, and Roshan now going down. I mean, Dara just stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Savadoom barely teleporting out of there with her life.
Look at the Shuffle Shot fly. It's still swinging.
And it didn't even latch. How sad. But Queen of Pain did use a BKB charge for that. And oh, they found Hawkeye. What is he doing there? Hawkeye, does he have buyback? Well, I guess that answers that question. So M5, they're slowly taking out all the buybacks of Dara. But, I mean, Dread also bought back as well. He does still have that Ravage plus the Shiva's Guard, so that is a lot of AoE magical damage on top of the Veil of Discord, which I'm sure will land on at least 2 heroes, or I hope it will for M5's case. They're going to push onto the bottom lane and maybe slide up to the top lane where it is a little bit pushed, but Phaelix cutting the creep wave off. He could tank these creeps all day long. 4 onto the M5 side. I don't know if this is an act of desperation, but it sure does look like it. They do have the Aegis on Sadoy, plus the cheese on Nexus, so they could take a good fight here. Morphling has got to get back to the base, and he is walking as fast as his legless form will allow. But it looks like M5, they're just going to slide up to the mid lane, and maybe they're just going to wait it out for Solo. No, Solo does have a BKB up and available right now. So M5, they're going to fall back once again. Play it safe.
Yeah, M5 just playing really, really defensively, being really considered in how they take these engagements, and I mean, Chen's still just farming away in the jungle. If you wanted to see that Eye of Scotty, he's almost got enough, but I think we might see perhaps an Ags or a Sheepstick finished up. But we'll have to see. I mean, Dara now forced back into their base, and it was awful to watch. I mean, they had no choice. They couldn't defend, they couldn't contest the Roshan because Chen was pushing up on top. And I think a lot of that maybe just came down to Morphling not being able to have the Replicate at the pit and then coming back to deal with the Chen. So timing there on the ultimate just not quite working out in his favor.
The creeps have breached the high ground. This tier 3 tower is going to drop, it looks like. Hawkeye with the burst strike, trying to hold on to it. Hand of God on the creeps. Tower is in deny range. Dread is going to blink it for a huge ravage onto all 5 of them. Is there enough magical damage? They all got hit by that Veil of Discord. Freezing Field going to drop off, and everyone from M5, they're not doing enough damage. Dread getting dropped really low. Hawkeye dropping really low as well, but he did get the epicenter off. Stellianer going to take a 4-second stun. The Sand King's going to barely escape with his life. Solo's going to blink away. Nexus is frostbitten. Sadoy is going to get that silence on the Savadoom, however, and the Crystal Maiden is going to get shot down by a power shot. Sand King down, Crystal Maiden down, but 2 down for M5 as well. Sadoy is going to get initiated upon by Phaelix, and there's the shotgun forcing the cheese out of Nexus. They're lining up for Shackle, but it's not available. Nose is going to drop, and Sadoy is going to lose that Aegis waveform out from the Morphling, but he does not have any backup. Solo's going to blink forward, but he is out of mana as well. There goes the tier 3s. Nexus is going to force staff herself forward. Going to get that sheep onto Phaelix. Shackle not going to latch. The Strength Morph does start. Split Earth going to land on all 3s. Grumpy has joined this fight again, but he might be in a little bit over his head. The Adaptive Strike on the Sadoy going to bring him down a little bit. Phaelix still Strength Morphing though, and Sadoy's kind of having a tough time deciding what he wants to do. There's another shackle shot, going to bring down the Morphling. Instant buyout from him, though. The Raxes are slowly getting lower and lower. There's the fortification trying to slow them down a little bit, but the melee Rax have dropped. Are they going to suicide onto these range Raxes? It could be a mistake because they could just doom push mid. The Eye of Scotty has now started on Solo. These Raxes are going to drop, so the Mega Creeps are going to flow. Solo going to blink out of there. He should be fine. Grumpy is going to take a lot of damage from this Spider as well because of that Orchid. He's going to get taken away from that. There he goes. And the tier 4s are dropping. Stelliner is in this middle lane. And I think M5, they've done it. Yes, there's the GG call from Darer. Wow.
This Chen, I just want to point this out, that, you know, M5's going for Roshan. Chen doesn't care. He's pushing up on top, and you know, M5 fighting Darer for the Raxes, and then you know, Chen just comes in, right-clicking your ancient. Doesn't care. But,
that's why he needs Eye of Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he needs the Eye of Scotty. Big right-click damage. But well played by M5. Really going for the slow rolling push at the end, but I guess managing to connect it and claiming off the game. And I really think the big difference there was managing to take those two Raxes in the mid game. The perfect timing of the Rax Rosh. It was absolutely great.
Alright guys, so that's going to be it here. Darer versus M5. This one does go to Darer. I'm Mike Loris, and I had the fortune of casting with Basskip.
Basskip, yep.
Yes, very nice.
It was great to be here. And that was actually the way of M5, I believe. So.
Yeah. Did I say Darer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that didn't happen.
No, Darer didn't win.
I'm pretty sure they didn't. But that's going to be it for me, guys. As always, comments and criticism is encouraged, especially since this is a kind of a new thing with the dual cast setup. So thanks for watching, guys. GG.